Today, we're going to start this podcast off with an absolute explosion.
His servicing with a major bank was half of what we were able to do with a low doc lender.
When is the right time to start investing? How much would you leave yourself as an emergency fund?
The prams are the biggest scam.
Do you think Beanie Babies went up in value? One wealth and one health tip.
Take your vitamins every day. Why's that funny? Paddy's going to be grow a beard. People take you more seriously.
Welcome to the Rate Drop. I'm Dom Trimboli, founder of Refinancer, and today I'm joined with Rob D'Agostino, the Advisor's Mortgage Broker of the Year.
Hey Dom, pleasure to be here.
And Patrick Stewart, a multiple platinum award-winning broker, and our viewers may notice that he is sporting a bit of a different look here.
Thanks, Dom. Good to be here. Yeah, I do look a little different this time.
Yep, the man has a beard.
Yeah. I've aged like 10 years just by doing this, I think.
I didn't know it was possible, Paddy.
Neither did I. I looked homeless for about 2 weeks and then just tried it and seems to have worked. So we'll just continue.
Beautiful. So today we're going to start this podcast off with an absolute explosion because I want to know right off the bat, right now, Rob, variable, fixed, and what deal are you picking if you were to refinance?
Well, we've had the rate hike obviously in February. There's a lot of talk that there could be more on the way. Really, really hard to say. The thing is, I would say fixed based on rates potentially going up, but now fixed rates have all been jacked up. So fixed rates aren't going to be viable. You need to go for a low variable rate.
Okay, which deal? What deal are you doing?
Depending on how big your loan is, assuming you have a very large loan, over $1 million, we are seeing variable rates as low as 5.34 with cashback.
And that's after the 25 basis point increase?
Correct, after the increase. So pretty crazy low, whereas most other lenders at the moment will sit around 5.5, 5.6 for a variable.
Okay, perfect. And what about you, Paddy? What are you going with?
I'm going fixed.
You're fixed? Okay,
I'm 100% fixed rate.
Who are you fixing with?
So there's a lender at the moment who is offering a lower fixed rate than most others. Most other banks, especially the majors, have all increased to low sixes. 6.14 is probably the most common.
6.14.
6.14, yep. We've got a bank offering a 1 or a 2 year fix at 5.64%.
Yep.
With a free rate lock as well.
Free rate lock?
Yeah.
Can you explain to our viewer what a free rate lock is?
So when you apply for a fixed rate, it's not like applying for a variable rate where as long as you apply before a deadline, if the variable rates change, you still get that discount.
Right. So you have certainty.
You have certainty when you apply. Yeah. Whereas a fixed rate, it's not like that. If you apply for a rate at 5.2% and then 2 weeks later, before your application has a chance to be settled, the lender increases their fixed rates, you get that new fixed rate. So the rate you applied for doesn't exist anymore.
So you pretty much lose a couple of $1,000s a year just because the queue has taken too long.
At least. Whereas most lenders, if not all lenders, offer the opportunity for a fee, of course, to lock in the fixed rate that you want when you apply for the loan.
Right.
This bank won't charge you for that, and they'll do it automatically on submission.
That's pretty good.
Which
it's
is
like
really
a
common.
$600-700 saving right there.
Yeah. And another thing as well with that one, they also have a product. One, you can pay up to $20,000 a year in additional repayments. It's got a redraw facility. And if you wanted offset accounts, it even does that as well for an extra 10 basis points.
Nice.
So the same product, the same fixed rate at 5.74 instead of 6.4 will get you up to 6 offset accounts and also protects you against any future RBA rises that may occur in the next 12 to 24 months.
An offset account on a fixed product, pretty much.
Yeah, which is quite rare.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. I wonder if the conflict in the Middle East is going to play a bit of a part. What are your thoughts, Dom?
It's tough. Like everything that's just happened in the world is absolutely crazy. But the big thing that kind of stuck out to me about all the activity is Dubai got bombed.
That's huge.
Dubai, like people died in Dubai. That can't happen right now. As you guys know, we have thousands of Aussies working in Dubai, hundreds of thousands of people from Australia traveling to Dubai every year. If in the world you can imagine, all of a sudden the prospect of going to Dubai, living in Dubai and investing in Dubai, it just took a massive, massive hit. So it's crazy. And you'd have to think about what all of that means for rates in Australia. Like the RBA was talking and they made reference to kind of what's happening. But do you think they even know what's happening, Rob?
Well, supposedly petrol prices could could see a bit of a spike due to the conflict.
Makes sense.
So that puts the RBA on red hot alert.
Yeah.
So there's just so much uncertainty. But yeah, it really makes you think twice about whether you're going to go to Dubai or whether you want to even go there as a stopover on the way to Europe or another destination, really.
Yeah. A lot of people talk about investing there, buying apartments and everything like that. It's like you don't think this could happen in Dubai, but you have to remember the weather is terrible there. It's very expensive. It's very far. They really don't need this to even like raise any doubt from people that are thinking about it as a investing prospect or travel destination.
Makes you wonder if a lot of the expats that moved over there will start moving back home. Aussies included.
Yeah, yeah. It's something to definitely consider.
So, Dom, you're telling me that with obviously everything that's happened over the last couple of days, Dubai might not be the paradise that it's been sold as and advertised as for a while. I think the last couple of days, you think it's shown how vulnerable they can be to any sort of attack.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Like geographically, you look where it is, and that's always been something that people have been questioning. But it's kind of been looked at as like a Switzerland or a Singapore that just doesn't get involved in the crazy stuff around it. But now it has, and that's big news if you work there. Big news if you want to travel there.
Yeah. Okay. I've got an interesting question for you then.
Okay.
If you're an alien coming to Earth,
You're right.
where would you go?
Where would I go if I was an alien coming to Earth?
Let's say we had 3 aliens, one for each of. Oh, Rob already kind of looks like an alien. So, but if we're all aliens coming to Earth, then, and where would we go then? Well, in your opinion,
the biggest thing, and I've studied this a lot, is you need to separate different, I guess, net worth levels, because how much kind of resources you have will dictate what's better. Like someone with 30 mil wouldn't go to the same place someone with 300K would. So, for example, and the 30 mil, let's say you're worth 30 mil, it's pretty unsurprising that you'd go somewhere like Switzerland or Monaco, because the tax rules over there are the most favourable, quality of life and everything like that. And the price of property and everything being so expensive wouldn't really hurt at that level of wealth. But if you're someone that was the complete opposite, and you were worth about $300,000, and this one I found really interesting, is the best place on earth for you is actually Kuala Lumpur.
Kuala Lumpur.
Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It would be the number one place on the planet if you're worth $300,000 to go and live.
Is that just because pure cost of living, or
It's a number of factors of cost of living, culture, safety, education systems. For example, Singapore's always looked at very similar, but Singapore's 3 or 4 times more expensive. So Kuala Lumpur, you still get most of the luxury of Singapore, but just at a fraction of the cost.
Yeah, right.
And where Australia really ties in nicely is if you're someone that's worth, 2 or 3 or 4 mil, in my opinion, Australia is actually the best place on earth to live, because that's where you kind of have enough money to take advantage of our property and buy into everything that is Australia. And as we all know, Australia is very far away from conflict. It's safe. It's one of the best places in the world to live, and we're obviously pretty biased about that.
Yep. No, it definitely is. And really, in Australia, if you're willing to work hard, there's a lot of opportunity here.
It does, and Australia's getting really expensive, but it's a premium product. That's the big thing. It's really, people in Australia, where else would you live? And that's what it comes down to. Like, it's true the cost of living crisis is out of control. It's true we can do a little bit better at things. Even the Bondi crisis probably underline that. But where else would you live?
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
Now, Rob, you were telling me about a credit card hack that you've been employing as of late to save a bit of money.
Yes. So over the past few years, I've been following a system with my ANZ credit card. It's a ANZ Black frequent flyer card.
Fancy.
Fancy.
Pretty much, I pay for absolutely everything on this card.
Right.
Everything, bills, shopping, you name it. I'll pay for everything on it. Travel.
But Rob, you're a finance broker. Isn't having a credit card not a good idea?
Yes, but if you pay it off at the end of the month, they don't charge you any interest. So what I effectively do is I pay for everything, build up the balance, and clear it once a month. And the benefit of this is you don't pay interest. That money that you're not using until the end of the month sits in your offset account for longer. So you actually get to maximise the amount of money you have in your offset.
But Rob, what if you forget to pay off your credit card every month?
Then you'll be charged interest. You just need to be very disciplined.
Well, do you have a system in place, or what are you doing about that?
I just have a reminder on my phone that pops up at the end of the month and tells me to pay it. I believe you also can set up an auto direct debit. There is a way to do that.
Yeah.
I manually do it myself through a reminder on my phone.
Yep.
But then the other benefit of the credit card is the frequent flyer point system. So at the moment I've banked maybe just a bit over 300,000. When you sign up for the credit card, there's usually a sign-up bonus.
I was just about to say that. You get the sign-up bonus as well, yeah.
Correct. Somewhere above, I think it's like usually 140,000 flyer points, and you have to spend like, I think it's 4 to 5 grand in your first 3 months, which normally people would with their everyday spending.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've just built up the points over the past couple of years. I haven't gone this step further, but the step further, if you wanted to take this to a whole nother level, would be once a year to open up another card with a different bank, take advantage of their sign-up bonus and just move your card every year.
Recycle the cards.
Correct. Recycle the credit cards. If you follow that system, or if I did, I'll probably be sitting on 500,000 points. At the moment, I'm sitting on 300,000, which...
What would that get you?
I reckon that would have to be a free holiday for me and my partner overseas and in a couple of years, return.
Yeah.
It's probably about $1,000, $1,500 worth of value there, depending on how you use it.
You put your seat back on those flights as well.
Oh, yeah.
Have to. As soon as you leave Australia, you can put your seat back.
Yeah, that's it.
And
That's the rule.
the concept of what you're doing with the credit card is nothing new, and most people would know about it. But talk a little bit about the offset benefit, because that's kind of where it gets pretty interesting, in my opinion, with how you're kind of using the concept of timing to save there.
Yeah, correct. So as everyone knows or may not know, when the banks calculate your interest on your mortgage every month, they basically look at assuming you have an offset, they look at your balance minus your offset. This is actually a daily charge, but then it generally gets totaled and charged at the end of the month. Now, if you've got that money sitting in your offset for 30 days as opposed to clearing your credit card every time you spend money on it, that's 30 days longer that you might have 2, 3, 4 grand sitting in your offset that you can save interest on against your mortgage. So that's where it can come in really handy. And there's a compounding effect. If you're doing that for years, that's really going to add up over a number of years. Yeah,
it's small little things like that. And realistically, if you put that puppy on a direct debit, that's happening all without you doing anything.
Yeah.
And, it's like, 3 benefits? You get the upfront points, the ongoing points, the saving on interest because you're never actually using it, and the saving on offset because of the 30-day allowance you're giving yourself, which is pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess the only concern or thought you need to have is credit cards are a really good tool when they're used properly, but they're incredibly easy to not use properly, where a lot of people get stuck. So you need to use quite a bit of discipline to make sure you're using the credit cards correctly and actually clearing that balance, not allowing it to creep up. And as well as that, when you were talking about recycling them, like applying for new ones every year or so, you don't want to do that too often. Once a year is probably good, like you recommended, because obviously every time you apply for credit, your credit score drops a little bit.
Those lenders are going to ask questions.
Correct.
And what about the effect of a credit card on your borrowing capacity? Like, Rob, what's your credit card limit at the moment?
15K.
So, Paddy, what would be a $15,000 credit limit borrowing capacity wise?
Yeah, so when banks look at your borrowing capacity, they don't, especially credit cards, they don't look at the balance of the card. So with you, Rob, how you have a $0 balance on your card, that's great for you. But since you have a limit of 15, they would assume that you can go up to that 15,000. So they would base your repayments off of that. Banks usually use about they set the repayment amount to 3.8% of the credit limit. Yep. So if it's a $10,000 card, it's $380.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Oh God, that's depressing.
Finance man over
Just
here.
had to double check that. Haven't had my coffee yet. So that's a pretty major hit on your credit file there. So
what $15,000? What's that, about $100 grand?
I would say
knock off
probably
your
$80,000 to $90,000 on your borrowing capacity at least. Yeah,
it's pretty massive. That's a whole house deposit. Right?
Yeah. And especially now that rates are going up as well, or rates have been going up, serviceability is a lot harder for a lot of people anyway. So it is getting tougher to get approved, and you really want to make it as easy as you can for yourself to get approved by reviewing those sort of expenses. And even if you have a $20,000 limit on the card, if the bank will allow you to bring it down to 10, just bring it down to 10. Do you really need it to be for 20? That'll make it a bit easier as well. So yeah.
You'd probably frame it with your monthly spend, right? If you're going to spend $4 or $5 grand a month, your credit card can be that 10. But there's no point going beyond that, really.
Plus maybe an allowance for emergencies as well, I guess. But obviously you wouldn't want to rely on a credit card to fund something like that.
Yeah.
Supposedly there is a little bit of a secret hack. I was actually speaking to a guy out on the weekends, mutual friends, and he was telling me that he has a Amex charge card with a zero. It hasn't actually got a set limit.
Yeah.
So apparently because it doesn't have a limit, it doesn't affect his borrowing capacity when he tries to take out loans to buy property.
Oh, is that so?
Apparently.
Yeah, I think that's like the second best Amex card. Have you guys ever heard about the black Amex card?
No.
I see all these people online, they're flashing it around, but I don't know too much about it.
It's the most useless thing ever, right? Supposedly you have to get invited for this credit card.
Oh, it's one of those.
It's one of those, but in reality, you could probably just send an email and be like, hey, I spend a lot of money, right? And this credit card has guess how much the annual fee of this credit card is?
$500.
10 grand.
I think it's about $10,000 to $15,000 a year.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right? And I actually looked at the numbers of this credit card. Guess what benefit it gives you?
There'll be a point system.
The point system, there would be a concierge service as well. Like some credit cards would give you access to a concierge service. Which
You're forgetting the biggest benefit, though.
What's that?
It looks sexy.
Oh.
That's all it does. The points are relatively the same.
Well, it's shiny.
So
It's
you're
shiny.
saying when you take it out the wallet,
It's beep. You're paying
that's what it's
15
about.
grand a year
And
to
then you
flex on
flash it
people.
around.
You say beep when you do it as well, so it beeps twice.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's the most useless thing ever. I believe there is some form of concierge service, but let's be real. You know,
Yeah.
do you really like when, I don't know, when Beyonce comes to concerts, you really need to call someone and be like, yeah, get me some tickets. Is that?
Hey, so I have my credit card with Westpac. Their concierge service is pretty good. They get me access to pre-sales for concerts that I want to go to.
It actually works?
Yeah, it works. It's really good. Discount at restaurants. It's not bad.
Well, that's-
And it's offered as part of a package, so you'd be silly not to use it.
Do you pay 15 grand a year for that service?
No.
And I guess another thing to consider is, especially if you're self-employed, because you know we often get a lot of self-employed people coming to us, and it's so divisive because sometimes you can get someone that's self-employed that supposedly is making a lot of money, but they're still going to struggle with the banks.
Yeah.
Give us a bit of an insight into if you're self-employed, how that kind of works.
So getting back to what I was saying about how it's harder to get approved nowadays than it was a while ago. It's not just serviceability. Policies are tightening with lenders as well. So we were talking about trust lending and how that's not really a thing anymore with a lot of the major banks. But they kind of try and slide that under the rug by introducing these shiny new policies to help more self-employed borrowers borrow money. So with the majors and most lenders, you being self-employed, you'd have to usually provide 2 years of tax returns, and if you have a trust and company, it's more documentation after that. But you have to kind of rely on the fact that your last 2 years of trading in business has been really strong to be able to get a loan nowadays being self-employed. Whereas now it's a bit easier. You have the 1 year policy with a lot of lenders. They'll just verify your most recent year. But what you're saying, Dom, is I guess when businesses they're cash flow rich, so they have a lot of revenue coming in, but they either have a weapon of an accountant who's really good, or they just got a lot of different expenses and they don't fit in the normal mold to be verified for their income through the major lenders.
Well, the concept of timing too, and when you realize expenses and income, like let's say, you know, there's $200,000 of sales coming in that could come in June or July.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, if that all comes in July, then
Yeah.
that business makes no money for that financial year, but makes
Correct.
a lot for the previous one.
Yeah, and there's also that waiting period that you have to do being self-employed as well.
Yeah.
So there's so many things you have to wait for normally.
Yeah.
But there's what I've discovered more recently than I probably should have, given how long I've been in the industry, is low doc applications.
Right.
So
They're always fun, aren't they?
you know what? I love them. I can't believe I wasn't doing more of them earlier.
Yeah.
They're a lot simpler. It's a lot more of a common sense approach to lending. Whereas, you know, the major banks are a bit stricter, a bit more, I guess you could say, vanilla in their approach to assessing income. Like I had a client who wanted to purchase a property in Melbourne. I think this was the latest one I did. So this was 2 weeks ago. His servicing with a major bank was half of what we were able to do with a low doc lender. And the interest rate is higher because obviously the risk for the lender is higher as well. And you do have to go to a non-conforming bank to get it. The majors won't really do it. It's a solution. And as well as that, it allowed the client to take advantage of that opportunity that they otherwise would have missed out on if they didn't go ahead. So they were okay to spend an extra, 50 to 60 basis points or 0.6 or 0.7% in interest because they knew that the capital growth or the rental on that property was going to well exceed that.
Yeah, Australian property just doesn't stop.
Yeah. So you can verify it using an accountant's letter. So your accountant can declare.
That changed though, didn't it? Because I know when I was in the industry, the accountant literally declared your income, whereas I think now they're just, in some cases, they're just declaring you're able to make the repayments.
No, they
Is that
still,
correct,
they were, a lot of people were sort of up in arms about it a long time ago. They have sort of adjusted the way that the wording is put in these letters. They're still verified through, the assessors for the most part will call the accountant to verify that the information is correct. You can't just go out and say, yeah, Joe Blow earns $500,000 a year.
Yep.
See you later. Whereas, and a lot of lenders will need a long-term relationship with that accountant for the client,
because the accountant would have to understand the
Correct.
true position,
and they'd have to review the information and have access to Xero or whatever platform they use, or like 6 months bank statements, or 2 bats. Like, it's so easy.
Yeah, there's a lot of solutions.
It's so easy, and if you're self-employed and you haven't got your financials ready or anything like that, you think there's no hope in getting, just talk to someone. Like, Lodoc is awesome.
Yeah, I think
it's an awesome opportunity.
It's fair to say that I think you understand why rates are a little bit higher in a sense with self-employed people, because the data tells us there is more risk.
Well, that's what you were saying before. Sales it comes in waves.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think there's, really, when you look at a full doc lending option for self-employed people, it just doesn't really, it just doesn't do it accurately enough. And that's why these types of products are great.
Yeah.
And for 1% or 0.5%, to make a move, this can be irrelevant. Even if you get in the market, then a year, 2 years down the track, you refinance. It might cost you $5,000 or $6,000 more than it should have.
Yeah.
But what's it going to cost to miss out on a property for a year or two?
You make that back in capital growth.
Yeah,
you might pay
and then
5-6K in additional interest on the higher rate, but the house might go up 50 to 100K.
Yeah.
That's winning.
Yeah.
That is definitely winning, Mr. Shane.
Winning. By winning. Question for you, Paddy. This intertwines with the last topic about borrowing capacity, credit cards. A self-employed person takes out a credit card under their business.
Yep.
And that gets expensed under their business returns, from my understanding.
Yeah.
Will they need to service that in the application, or that gets excluded because it's a business card?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Some lenders will include business liabilities in personal servicing. Some lenders don't.
Okay.
And it also comes down to the structure of the business as well.
Sure.
So if it's a company or if it's a trust, blah, 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 it gets a little bit complicated. But the answer is it depends.
Yeah.
It depends. And if the company is trading profitably and you're paying yourself a salary, you're not even taking any profit from your business, you're just paying yourself a salary. There are lenders out there that will just rely on that salary and won't even need to see the financials of the business.
I think you're just highlighting really why a self-employed person really needs a broker.
Yeah.
Because imagine going just direct to a one lender. If you're in this situation, you just get knocked back, and then your perception's going to be like, lenders hate me, I'm self-employed.
Yeah.
But in reality, you probably need someone that has access to 30 or 40 lenders.
You need a broker, and you need someone who understands how to read financials, how, complex business setups can work. And if you have 7 different entities, it's not it's not, you don't have to provide everything for every single one. And you're right. Self-employed people definitely need a broker.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you guys have been keeping up with the crypto world at the moment.
For God's sake.
Ooh. But surprise, surprise, Bitcoin has halved.
It was on the way to the moon.
I thought it was going to the moon, Rob.
It done a bit of a U-bolt and turned back around.
Isn't it going to the moon?
U-bolt. It's a U-turn.
Yeah, but you've never heard someone call it a U-bolt before. No. Yeah, okay. That's another term for U-turn, is a U-bolt.
A U-bolt.
Yeah, mate, can you chuck a U-bolt here?
So Bitcoin has, in fact, U-bolted from $170,000 to $90,000.
Yeah.
And as you'd expect, all cryptocurrencies, and including your Ethereum and your meme coins, have taken the same kind of dive as well.
Does Trump have a coin? Does Donald Trump have a coin? I'm pretty sure he has a coin as well. I wonder what's that story.
You should put your life savings into that one.
I should maybe, yeah.
I'm a bit of a hobby investor. Like I've just been putting dribs and drabs into it, and fair to say my portfolio is halved. But
well, I get a lot of stick for shitting on crypto and shitting on Bitcoin. But right now it's kind of a glorious moment for me, to be honest. Seeing this dip, I'm really relishing it, and I'm even going to go one step further because I've recently come across a YouTube economist who I really resonate with. And I'm not sure if you guys ever watched the OC back in the past.
California. Here we come.
Now, have you ever seen Ryan from the OC?
Yeah. He's gorgeous.
He's a good guy.
He's a good-looking man.
Ben McKenzie. Now, he is actually an economist on YouTube.
Is he?
Since when?
And his opinion of Bitcoin is that it's completely full of shit and it's going to hit zero.
What? But history shows us that Bitcoin and all these cryptos have done this before. They dip, they go low, then it goes back up, higher than before, then it comes down, then it goes back up.
Look, that's unfortunately what the brain will tell you. But what Ryan McKenzie from the OC will tell you is that Bitcoin is not backed by anything. It does not do anything. And that it's going to hit zero in time.
Yeah, I had no idea. That's pretty cool.
Check him out, though. It's
I
pretty,
will.
It's pretty
I will.
interesting.
He was really good in Gotham as well. He's been good in a lot of stuff.
He's a good actor and he hates crypto. And,
That's interesting to know. Lucky I haven't got much money in it.
Yeah. But all jokes aside, like this could present an opportunity to buy Bitcoin. It's halved. Some would say buy the dip, and although that's kind of like, not something to go by, it could present an opportunity, but people should understand that there is a real opportunity that crypto will continue to dive as well.
Well, I think before the last time that it skyrocketed was pretty much when Trump got in, because he's the Bitcoin president. That's what they say. He's a big supporter of Bitcoin, and that's why when he got in, it just skyrocketed all the crypto in general, pretty much.
Right. Bitcoin intertwines with so much of society. It's really difficult to see it to go to zero, but there may be an opportunity for that. But in terms of investing, like I was thinking the other day, like when is the right time to start investing? And it's not really something that's age dependent. I think it has to be wealth dependent, right? How much money you're earning, how much money you have. So it interests me. When should someone start investing? Like, what situations do you need to be in? And we're not going to include buying a home into that.
No. So you're talking more shares and
just shares and investment property, Bitcoin, anything. Just not a house to live.
What about Trump coin?
Trump coin, yeah. If that floats your boat.
Well, the best time to invest was 35 years ago. But I'm just saying. But the second best time to invest is now. Basically, like your money sitting in your everyday account is just. It's losing money because of inflation. So
you're saying the second you have $1?
I would say no. Look, you build up enough of a emergency fund to last you a few months. If you've got a steady salary, it doesn't need to be much. It just needs to be something. Put $50 a week in. $25, $100. I would say the minimum that you would need to start investing would be, I would say, $1,000 as an initial investment, and then you just top up $25, $50 because it's compounding and you just never sell it.
How much would you leave yourself as an emergency fund for someone that's probably new to investing?
Enough track your expenses for 3 months and then that amount. So enough living expenses to last you 3 months.
Yeah.
I reckon there's more to that than this.
All right, Rob, let's hear.
I reckon if you're single, you need 20K in the bank. If you're partnered, you probably need 30. If you got a dog, you need 5K in the bank for the dog.
That's
or the pet.
highly specific and I love it.
every kid, I reckon, is 10K.
So you're saying...
So right now, I've got me, my partner, baby and a dog. I'll be saying, based on that, we need to have 45K in the bank, minimum at all times.
Before you start... Are you talking about...
No, sorry, I'm just saying
Are you talking about investing? Oh, as
that's
a buffer.
That's how much Rob wants as a buffer. Anything beyond that is time to invest.
Well, to be fair, I didn't put an amount on it. I said track it over 3 months, and then
I think did Rob just crack the whole economic code right there with his 45K 10? What was it? 10K per
10K per kid, 5K per pet, and then 20K for a single, but 30K for a couple.
So you're pretty much ready for anything, all right? So you
got to be ready. You never know what's around the corner.
See, my angle on it is a little bit different. It's kind of similar to yours in a sense, where first, obviously, you want your home, then 50 to 100,000 in offset.
Yep.
Then as soon as you've got that, anything beyond that should be invested.
Yep.
The data will tell us, if you look back at every market on earth for the last 20 years almost, your money invested will outperform what's in your savings account and even what is in your offset account.
Yeah.
So the concept really is to have that sizable emergency fund if possible. But realistically, you don't even need that because, that's probably just more of a mental state of mind just to have, a backup plan.
Yeah. Well, if we look at the numbers on that one, and if I use ETFs as an example, for the past 2 years, I've been putting...
What's an ETF?
Exchange traded fund. It's pretty much like a share that's investing in multiple companies.
So like Vanguard, could you even label it as like
S&P.
the S&P as a whole?
Yeah.
So they're diversifying your money into multiple places that have a track record of performing well, essentially.
Yep.
So the past 2 years, I've been putting in $200 a fortnight into, there's 2 ETFs I've been putting it into. Over the past 2 years, the return has been about 10%.
Which is far beyond what a savings account is or what's an offset.
So you could offset and save 5 to 6%, or an ETF you get 10%. But in saying that, to touch on what I said earlier, you definitely still need that savings buffer in your offset. But any extra money, 100%, you should be going into shares, ETFs, metals, gold and silver. They're pretty hot commodities at the moment, especially with what's going on with the Middle East.
Yeah, whenever something like that happens, for sure,
in addition to the biggest one that we've seen the past few years being property. Property is just, there's still not enough stock. I reckon we talk about this in every podcast, but it doesn't change. Well, Rob, there's so many buyers and there's not enough sellers. I'm pretty lucky.
Yeah, you just sold a home, and I guess in Adelaide too. So you're an absolute great example of Adelaide property right now, because we're always telling our clients, look at Adelaide property between that 500,000 to $1 million mark. There's so much value here. Like what happened with your sale, Rob? Give us a breakdown.
I'll give you the spill. So I pretty much bought this house in 2020 for $437,000 as a first home buyer.
Yep.
I sold it within a week of it being on the market for $845,000.
Wow!
So that's $400K uplift in a 4 to 5 year period.
It's almost double in 4 or 5 years, which is nuts. And how was the demand from the market? Like, was this a fluke sale, or was this a case of there was lots of people that were interested in the home?
Look, we were expecting it to probably land just a bit above 8. And we started getting crazy offers, 830, 840, within 4 or 5 days of the first viewing.
Right.
So it's the property market in Adelaide is still pretty crazy, and that's in St Agnes, a townhouse.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good up and coming area.
How many bedrooms?
Probably a 3-bedroom, double garage townhouse.
You can. And how far is St Agnes from the city?
25, 30 minutes.
About half an hour, yeah.
So you're happy with your sale given, what you did from what you bought it for, but look at it from the buyer's point of view. They're spending $840,000 to be 20 minutes away from the city, 3 bedrooms, 2 garages in a house that was built not too long ago.
Yeah.
In this, it doesn't feel like value, but in this market,
that's a good buy for them. That's what it's worth. I was a bit shocked that it sold that much, but that's what it's worth.
Yeah.
And like you said, it is new. It's good quality townhouse. It's one of the good ones for sure.
Yeah.
Wait, so if you sold your house recently, then why did you make me buy you lunch the other day? you cheapskate.
I'm a tight ass, Paddy. What can I say? How do you think I bought a house? The thing is, if I can milk a lunch from you once a week, milk a lunch from Dom once a week, milk a lunch from Nico, the cameraman over there,
Nico's
once a week.
Nico's not paying shit, man. He's not paying shit.
After a year or two, all of a sudden I've got a house deposit. That's an investment property.
Well, that's how he's putting his money into Bitcoin, right?
I'm never buying you lunch again, mate. You can get lost.
Well, we joke and stuff, but I think the time to be looking at other investments is now. And we're home loan guys, right? So we're very biased with Australian property, and the data will tell us there's a reason why we're biased, because it almost doesn't lose.
Yeah. The only way we get to a point where we say, okay, be careful now, is if suddenly just a shitload of houses start getting built. They buy all this farmland and they're putting up thousands of houses, and there's that much stock available that all these first home buyers or people trying to get into the market have so much stock that they're not willing to pay a premium.
The demand will just eat it up at the moment. There's been no change. Supply and demand has not really shifted since COVID.
Yeah.
And that's the core concept of why Australian property will continue to move the way it will.
Plus, you've got immigration. There's people moving here every year. They need places to live. They need somewhere to rent, or those people eventually, after a few years, try to buy themselves. So it's just a recipe for disaster. When there's already not enough houses, more people are coming.
And we're really trying to educate our clients and just open their mind a little bit about what they can do with money as well. And we're recently going to launch a YouTube video series, and it's going to be called Which Investment Came Out on Top? Because what we're going to do is we're going to look at different years, or we're going to draw a line in the sand. Like, let's say 2018, the average Aussie home or silver, over the course of 8 years, which investment came out on top.
Yep.
And the idea of this is just to open everyone's eyes that yes, paying off your loan rapidly is great. Yes, putting money in offset is fantastic. But what if you bought another property with that money? What if you invested that into an ETF or silver or even something fun like
A Trump coin.
Even I was doing an analysis on a sealed Pokemon game. You know, if you put $10,000 into Pokemon red, blue, green, yellow, whatever, sealed, how would that perform comparatively to silver? So it's going to be a fun series where we go over this type of thing and just we want to open people's eyes and just make them think about things they can do with their money, even if it's a little bit left field.
The key is just to live below your means. It's boring. You know, if you can avoid going on holidays for a few years, living below your means, not going on fancy dinners, still be in a position where you can pay your mortgage, little bit of a savings buffer, but that excess money is where you want to invest somewhere or build up that deposit to go for that next property, because the only way to get out of the rat race these days is to invest. Yeah. If you're simply just going to work, I'm going to work and pay off my mortgage, you're just going to pay it off over 25 years to 30 years like everyone else, and you'll probably pay it off in your late 50s or your 60s.
It's a very conservative, old school way of thinking.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's just, I think the first realization needs to be that paying my home down quickly is still better than not doing it, but there's other options. And the reality of the other options, they can actually help you achieve your goal of paying your house quicker, because as we know, the how to pay off your home in 7 years, all that is just buying an investment property or two, selling it and smashing your home.
Yeah.
Right. But you can do these things with other types of investments as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, as I always tell you guys, my Aunty Susan rule about my investment philosophy. And
good old Aunty Susan.
Good old Aunty Susan rule. And I've actually, this Aunty Susan rule has steered me well for about 10 years. And what I do is, if my Aunty Susan tells me about something, it's too late. Do not touch it or sell it. Now, there is one thing that's Aunty Susan proof, and that's Australian property, because even she can say, tell me about Australian property, and that's still going to go up. But a good example the other day, as you guys know, silver almost doubled in value. And come January, end of January, my Aunty Susan calls me and she's like, Dom, do you think it's time to buy a bit of silver? And the second she said that, I knew, sell silver, do not buy more silver.
Yeah, it's already done. It's like that. I've seen it on Facebook a while ago, and it's like when your Uber driver tells you to invest in crypto, you know you shouldn't do it because everyone's already onto it.
That's your Aunty Susan, your Uber driver.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I've actually got the opposite too. So I've got a cousin that is right on top of things. Like, he loves researching, and the second something's out there, he knows. So my new concept is, the second my cousin tells me something, put money in it, and the second Aunty Susan tells me about it, sell it.
It's done.
It's done. And it sounds really, really simplistic. And of course, it's a bit of a joke, but it's also a really good investment strategy. Like, dollar cost averaging is always going to be king because there's no risk. But if you want to have investments that are a little more risky in nature, use the Aunty Susan method. It can work.
Well, just have that weird auntie or weird relative. She probably won't like me saying that she's weird, but you're saying that have that weird relative that when they tell you that you should invest in something, you know not to invest in it.
You know it's done.
You know it's done. So if you hold a position in it, sell it straight away.
Exactly. If the information has filtered all the way to your sweet Aunty Susan, it's too late. Too many people know. Do the opposite.
Love it.
Question related to the topic, but a bit off the
topic.
Yeah, a bit off topic.
Say
if we had to
topic one more
rate
time.
our top three investments across all assets in Australia, what would we go for? I know first thing is we're going to definitely say property, because there you can see 15 to 20% in a year, which is crazy. But what's going to land second and third, and why?
I know the answer to some of this stuff, and it's going to be pretty crazy.
Bitcoin.
Nah,
you're going to say Bitcoin.
Well, you can't say Bitcoin because it's halved now and it's so volatile. Hey?
It's a joke because he hates Bitcoin.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my
but
God.
If Bitcoin was still up at 170, 180, maybe you put it in second. But because we've seen this dip, it's not even in you can't even talk about it.
I don't.
So what's number 2 and 3 then, Dom?
Well, it depends how you look at it. Like, Australian property for me will always win out, not because of the percentage gains, because of the security. Yeah. That's got to be factored. But if you look at something like a number 2, there's some really obscure investments within the collectibles space that have actually outperformed everything.
Logan Paul.
You can look at things like Logan Paul selling he sold a Pokemon card for what, 15 million?
16
16 million.
Because he wore it to WrestleMania
and he
WWE.
had it, and he had it was like on this massive chain and everything. It's pretty sick, but for 16 million,
but the thing is, he drove the price up because it was probably already worth $1 million or $2 million when he wore it. But then him wearing it to that event would have pushed it up.
It's the event a little bit, but it's his. And yes, he did push it up artificially. And some people will say it got 15 million. Oh, that's not what it's really worth. That's crazy. But guess what? There were people at 14 mil, at 13 mil, at 12 mil. People are willing to pay that, and that's what something's worth.
Correct.
So,
what you'd put collectibles at number 2?
Honestly, collectibles are something that is a little bit obscure. But if you went back to 1999 and you put money in things like sealed products, like games, trading cards, things like that, they would outperform pretty much any other asset class over the next 25 to 30 years. And it's a bit out there, but again, it comes back to kind of the thing we're doing with YouTube. Start to look at different things. If there's a toy that your kid is so engaged in that every kid is looking at it and you have to buy it and buy that for your kid, buy another one of that and just keep it sealed, put it in a cupboard. And then 10 years later, that's going to buy him a car.
On that topic, isn't there some doll that everyone was buying last year?
The Labubu doll.
Labubu or something like that? I don't get that. Why? What happened there? Why was that so pricey?
Just demand, mate. It was just a fad.
Yeah,
I think that everyone was jumping on. I don't know anything about it. The only thing I know about it is it's really funny to say, but I don't know anything.
Labubu doll.
It's like a fashion thing.
Okay. So what was that selling for?
Oh, I've got no idea of the economics of that, but that is, for me, that's like a newer concept. If you want to look at something like that, do you remember Beanie Babies?
Oh, yeah, like Beanie Kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Beanie Babies went up in value?
They would have, yeah.
The answer is they tanked and went down.
Shit.
So
don't ever listen to me.
and these are some, like, not all collectibles are going to go through, extreme burst periods, but, there are some that are good. So
I've got a collection of Beanie Kids. You're saying they're worth nothing now?
They're not worth nothing. Oh, fuck. But you'll find that out on one of our episodes of which investment came out on top. So
there goes my next house deposit.
Yeah, that's it. So look, we're trying to get people to look at different ways of investments, and obviously paying down your loan is fantastic. It's better than doing nothing, but it's important to look at other angles because it's not 30 years ago where it's just about smashing down a home loan. It's about building wealth too, because guess what? Building wealth is smashing down your home loan as well. Yeah. And of course, not everyone has money in offset, which is a limitation.
Yeah, so if people don't have money in their offset account, because it's an easy thing to say, like, oh, if you've got 100 grand in offsets, but 100 grand, it's a lot of money, mate. It's not to be sneezed at. So, even if you have equity in your property, that's a really common way for people to use, for what people can use to invest.
What type of people would have equity in their home, really? Everyone before 2024 that bought a property?
Even people, I would say so. Yeah, but even people who have bought properties now, I mean, equity growth is still really strong because that supply and demand thing that we keep talking about. People just keep paying more and more and more for properties. So,
well, look at Rob as the perfect example right there.
Yeah, and you can use comparable sales, obviously, to determine the equity you have. Anyway, whatever. What I'm trying to say is if you don't have the money in your account, you can borrow against that equity that's created in your property. So if you've got a property now that's worth $1 million, you only owe $600,000 in it. Most lenders will allow you to borrow up to 80% of the property's value. That's $200,000 that you can borrow at, let's say, 5.6, 5.7%, and then use that to invest in something that's going to give you a return greater than the interest.
Yeah, but what if I have that money and it takes me 2 or 3 years to find something or to do something with it? I'm paying interest on $200,000.
But you're not, because you would store it in an offset account. Don't store it in a redraw facility. Again, talk to your accountant about it. There's different complications that arise, but just keep it in your offset so that there's no difference. And the only, I guess, cash flow issue is you would still make repayments on that. Even if you had it in the offset, the repayments would be entirely principal, but way to combat that.
How much interest is that costing me extra?
Well, it's not costing you any interest. But
Zero?
Yeah, that's my point, is that if you can then go to interest only instead, you're not paying any interest and you're also not making any repayments. So that money is literally just sitting there waiting for you to find that perfect opportunity. Yeah. So when the time comes, you don't have to go, oh shit, now I have to go for an application. Your situation might be different at that point. I might have to go and borrow $200,000 to a whole new application, take a couple of weeks. You've already got that money sitting there. You can just go for it.
Yeah, it's when you can think of it really simply, and I hate to do this in my brain because then it makes me want to do it, and I don't want to do it because I like money in my offset account. But if you had $500,000 in your offset account and you simply just put it into an ETF or the S&P, that money makes 10, 11% per year, and you're paying interest on 5%.
Yeah,
So
the money's there.
You're making an extra 5% a year.
Yeah, correct. And when the time comes to sell it, like, yeah, you might get done with capital gains or however it's structured, you might get done with that. But you'll be able to pay it off and clear it.
So why doesn't everyone just do that then? If they if there's 5% extra on the table and they have to do very little, why do people not do it?
Well, one, there's I guess you could say a common misconception that people just automatically assume borrowing any money is bad. Don't spend money you don't have.
Yep.
That's one. Two, they just don't know about it. There's not enough, or there are a lot of people online that will say a whole bunch of different stuff. So at the point where they think it's more complicated than it actually is, or they just don't understand any of it and they just don't want to try.
Yeah.
And they're more used to an older school mindset where paying off your loan
straight
away. Yeah, the stigma around it. And look, like you've been saying all the time, paying off your loan isn't a bad thing. You want to do it, but it'd be quicker to do it if you were to invest because then you have more capital to do it.
Yeah.
Like when you connect the dots, it makes more sense than it doesn't. But people just don't know these things.
Yeah, I think the other factor is definitely discipline as well.
Yeah.
So you have to stick to a plan doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And it can be difficult because if you took out, let's say every year you refinanced to cash out, and every year you took out another $50,000 from your mortgage, and that $50,000 you just chucked in an ETF, right? And in a way that's dollar cost averaging because over time you're probably going to make 10% on the money you borrow at 5%. But you got to use that $50,000 to invest.
Yeah.
You can't use it on bullshit.
No. You can't just go and put it all on black.
No, you can't. And like,
it's tempting though.
It's tempting. And look, we all feel it as humans. When you see money, it's natural to want to spend that money.
Yeah.
But it's just the data just suggests one thing very clearly, and it's on the table to everyone. But yeah, it's not for everyone, is it?
No.
Yeah, the interest only equity release split with offset is massive. I'm utilising that for a lot of my clients, and like you were saying, just got the money ready to go, and you're not paying for it until you use it. So
another big expense that I guess I've been finding out the tough way, and you've found out as well, is children.
Children are expensive. They're expensive. Between your nappies and your pram, your cot, is the bassinet, the baby seat.
The setup costs are quite expensive.
The setup costs are quite expensive.
Then you got the maintenance.
Then there's
keep them alive.
Then there's even the birth, depending on whether you go private or whether you go public at the hospital. Private, you're probably going to pay a lot. Public, you can get away with paying minimal or nothing, and public hospitals tend to be pretty good. Well, this is something that kind of, because I'm going through the process now, and you've just been, and you went public, and you were telling me what the whole process might have cost you about $1,000 or something like that. Yeah, the output was quite minimal, and it was really good. The quality was there. Really good experience. Surprisingly, they were overstaffed, not understaffed. The facilities are really good. So yeah, I that was like one of the first times I said I'm very happy with where my tax is going, because obviously it goes into the public system, and you actually got that given back to you. I was pretty happy and pretty surprised. Well, I can vouch for public massively, to be honest. It's going to be a good comparison because we're doing private, and I reckon already we've spent like $3,000 just on scans. Yeah. So who knows how? To be honest, I didn't really think too much about this process because I thought, what's the worst it can be? Having a kid, everyone does it. So it's going to be interesting to see where the costs actually finish for private compared to public, because it's a decision that everyone who has children has to make. Yeah. And there's not a lot of information, I'd say. Well, it's just one of those things. Like when I was growing up, you always hear, when you're going to have a kid one day, make sure you put it in your private health so you can cover going to a private hospital. They're so much better. And I heard that my whole life. And then just when it came around to planning a child, my partner, we just we're happy to go with public. Yeah, see, I didn't challenge that view, because that's the view everyone's been telling me. And I just said, that's what everyone's doing, whatever. And to be honest, I didn't really put any decision making time into it. The other massive thing is, have you guys ever been into a baby bunting before?
Yeah.
No.
Can you? But I nearly lost my mind when I went there and saw the prices of these things. I'm talking $1,000 car seats, $1,000 swivel seats. And do you know there is no competition for baby bunting? You go to Google something like an alternative product, and it's just baby bunting. There is no second guy.
You're saying baby bunting has a monopoly?
They are monopolising Australian baby.
Yeah, they're the juggernaut in
The juggernauts.
in the baby field. Like no one else even really comes close.
There's no other guy
in terms of products. Yeah. They got their pricing's pretty good, and they've got everything, and they've got a lot of options. I've been there a lot, pre-birth and post-birth. Me and my partner did a car seat swap. We originally just had the normal one that faces the back. We recently went in and got the one that actually can go 360 degrees.
Swivel car seat, that's what I'm apparently having to buy. Yep.
Expensive. You spend $1,000 on it.
Guess how much a swivel car seat is?
I don't know this stuff, man.
So do you know what that is,
basically a
Paddy?
baby myself.
So when you have a baby seat...
A swivel car seat,
swivels.
I can understand. It's sort of like, you can do it front, back, sideways.
Guess what the premium on that swivel function will cost you?
What, $500?
$500 just for the swivel function.
But I've got to say, it is so much easier to get my daughter out of the car, especially for my partner, when she can just turn it to the side and get the baby out.
It's the cost of convenience then.
Yeah.
Whereas before, it's very awkward. You got to go under your baby, try lift them up over it, and then get them out the door seat. It's actually quite awkward. So
And
I reckon that's actually worth spending extra for. Whereas for me, I reckon all the prams are the same. The prams are the biggest scam. Honestly,
you're about to get some pram guys on your tail, right?
No. You can spend $800 on a pram and $2,000 on a pram, and they'll do the exact same shit, 100%. Just the $2,000 one looks fancier and folds in a little bit better.
I'd say all the baby industry is going to be up Rob's ass, but really it's just going to be baby bunting because that's just all there is.
Look, the rest of the products, maybe when you spend more, you get more quality, it's worth it. But I reckon the prams are all the same shit. That's what I honestly think. My partner would argue with me about that. She thinks you spend more and you get a better pram, but I reckon it's the same shit.
The problem is there's no alternative to baby bunting. So the next thing I always look at is, all right, can I import it from China or go online? I was going to say,
you'd be on Alibaba or Temu for sure.
But guess what?
Lexi wouldn't let you?
Well, it's your baby's life.
Yeah.
So for me, I wouldn't care. But are you going to trust...
Wait, you don't care about your baby's life?
No, I care. That's the point. I care about it.
Oh, right. I get it. I was going to say, I was like, dude, that's kind of rogue.
But you can't go on AliExpress and buy a pram that's half the price just because of the what if.
Yeah, okay.
So this is it's like a wedding. It's like where you can charge for the best things that's always going to happen. This is the same.
Baby bunting, all the products come with really long warranty. So you feel pretty...
safe and secure.
Yeah, you feel pretty safe when you're buying products.
Like your kid would feel in a $2,000 pram.
It's the same. Yeah. It's the same as a $700 pram. Or there's a step... I didn't do this, but I know a lot of couples also buy second hands. And I think the smart thing to do would be to buy the $2,000 pram second hand for $500.
Yeah.
That's what, if you're really savvy, that would be the best thing to do, I would say.
Yeah. All right, guys. So to end off the podcast, I thought we're going to give the viewers one wealth and one health tip each. Just to end things on...
Rob, do you want to start?
One wealth and one health tip. One health tip, take your vitamins every day. Why is that funny? Take your vitamins every day. It's simple.
You want to be more specific? Like what vitamins?
Have your vitamin B complex. Have your magnesium glyciate. Or there's a particular magnesium that's a lot better than the other ones.
Yeah, right.
I believe it's the magnesium glycate or something like that.
It is that glycinate, yeah.
And you actually have to pay more for that one.
Yeah,
so don't just buy the cheapest magnesium because that hasn't got that particular magnesium.
We all thought it was just like a cop-out, like he's just thought of like a blanket thing. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about.
He knows his shit.
Yep. Fish oils.
Smarter than you look.
But I'll take it every day.
So let's take your vitamins. And what about a wealth tip?
Wealth tip. It's just going to be what we've been talking about today. I haven't really come with something prepped. It would just be invest. And if I had to go further into that, find a really good ETF and put X amount in per fortnight, set it up so it's automatic. That's what I've got set up at the moment for the past 2 years. Every fortnight, my ANZ does a credit into my trading account with it's called Tiger Trade, the one I use. And then Tiger Trade has a setting where when that money comes in, it puts it straight into this ETF. So it's completely automated.
So automate, dollar cost average.
And dollar cost averaging. And like I was saying earlier in the pod, I've been getting a 10% return on that over the past 2 years. And I don't need to do anything. It's just all completely automated.
All right. Well, my wealth tip, and this is going to be pretty controversial, refinance to the Bank of China, right? Just do it. Just do it. Their deals are insane. Their cashbacks are nearly $3,000. Their variable rate is the lowest on the market. Just do it. Yes, it's going to take you some time. It's going to take you 2 or 3 months.
You know, I can vouch for that a little bit. The thing is, all right, the service is going to be average. The app is going to be average. But your interest rate is going to be so much lower than everyone else, and you get the cash back. And what I'm not going to lie, I've used them for quite a few clients in the past. And yes, they're not the best to work with, but their interest rates are so cheap, all those clients are still with Bank of China. Because when you're 10, 15 basis points under everyone else, that's the most important thing with your interest rate. You just want to be paying the minimum.
It's if you rank out of 10, how do the numbers look with Bank of China?
Yeah, it's a 10.
It's a 10 out of 10. That's the game. Lower, better numbers. Bank of China wins.
Look, I'm not going to give you a rating on the service and the process to get the client there because it's going to be low.
Don't worry about that.
But in terms of the interest rate and the money, yeah, it's a 10.
All right, well, that's the wealth tip, Bank of China, consider it. And my health tip is a morning, it's kind of along with what you're saying, a morning shake. Get 20 things that are just good for you, put them in a blender, and just blend the crap out of that thing. Did you know that if you blend enough crap...
Is this a commercial?
Did you know if you blend...
It's a fucking NutriBullet ad.
You can blend 20 things into one thing that tastes good, and you have 60 to 70% of your daily vitamins and nutrients in the first 5 minutes of your day. Right. Blend shit. That's my health tip.
Right.
It's a tip. Just blend shit, Paddy.
Yeah.
Just blend more.
So Rob's tip is to take pills. Your tip is to blend shit. God, what am I going to follow all of that up with?
And Paddy, what about your health?
Paddy's going to be grow a beard. People take you more seriously.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. No, my health tip is quite simple, and most importantly, it's free. Is that just get your steps in. Go for a walk. I've been smashing the walks recently.
How many steps are we talking here?
Oh, look, be realistic. Obviously, everyone's time's a bit different, but aim for like 6,000 to 7,000 steps a day if you can. Obviously, the ideal number to get to is 10. That's what you hear. But like I've just been going on little 5, 6K walks every night, and then I go on a big one on the weekend. It's really good for mental health. It's really good for physical health as well. You know, I'm looking pretty good now. It's not just the beard, mate. But Paddy, it's
maybe one podcast. We're going to do a bit of a push-up contest.
We're going to do we can, mate. I'll smash you.
See who can get more.
I'll smash you. But like mental health, physical health, it's just got so many benefits. It's free. You get some fresh air.
It's a pretty damn good
You can't really go wrong with it. Like obviously, you know, if you've got sore legs or something like that, probably not. But for the
sore legs, there's like 80-year-olds that walk, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, you know, if your knees are shit like mine, it can be a bit more difficult. But it's so important. Like
you're 26.
Yeah, dude, they're gone.
One of the best things about walking is you can put on an ebook, so you can learn, or you can even put on a podcast.
Well, that kind of leads.
That could be the wealth tip.
That does actually lead me to my wealth tip.
You could even put the Refinancer podcast on and listen to us talk about money.
Yeah.
And a few other things that we like to talk about.
Rob, you'd be winning too hard if you're walking and listening to our podcast, learning so much useful stuff.
That's right. Shout out if you're walking and listening at the moment. Shout out. No, my wealth tip was actually going to be, before Rob so rudely took it, was educate yourself. Educate yourself, because you can't invest any money, you can't save money if you don't educate yourself to build that discipline, to set the goals.
A little more specific. Educate yourself on what? I want to hear one.
It's more just educate yourself on the different types of investments that are out there. So it's not, investing is not a one shoe fits whatever the saying is. It's, you know, you can look at your ETFs, you can look at your crypto, you can look at your collectibles, but you can't really make an informed decision on what's best to invest in if you don't know what the fuck you're looking at. So, you know, read your books, talk to people who have invested previously, not your uncle at a barbecue who I don't know, bought a stock in 89 and then sold it in 90 or whatever it is. Like, talk to someone who you actually know for a fact has done what you're wanting to do, because it might not make you money straight away, but it's going to put you in the best position to make money in the future. Because if you're just throwing money willy-nilly at anything you see online, where, you know, some crypto bro tries to tell you to buy a certain coin, or you know, some idiot tells you to buy an ETF or something like that.
Why are you pointing at Rob?
Because Rob's an idiot. Because Rob's an idiot. You're just gonna like send money, and you, if you're not like, you just need to understand this shit in order to actually make it worthwhile for you. So it's a bit
These
weird,
are
just,
all great tips.
But just educate yourself. It's 2 words.
And if you want to geek out a little bit more, you could even run projections. Like if I put X amount in to an ETF every fortnight for 10 years at compounding rate of X amount, I'm expected to have this. I'm expecting my property to be worth this. So you can kind of do like a future projection to see how much liquidity and how much you're worth essentially.
I think Rob's trying to sell him. If any client would like Rob to do this for them, please make sure you tell them when you call them for your next refinance. Because Rob, I think, just put his hand up to run projections and future investment numbers for them.
Rob, do you know how to use Excel?
I'm okay at Excel.
He's a finance guy.
You guys are a little bit better than me, but I'm okay.
Yeah, okay.
It's acceptable.
It's acceptable. It's possible.
My spreadsheets are okay. That's where I put them.
All right, guys. So that's it. Episode 4 of The Rate Drop. And remember, if you want to get in touch with us to refinance, to buy a home, to cash out and invest in some other areas, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, click our link. Rob, Patty, and myself are going to be happy to help you. And remember, if Auntie Susan tells you to invest, it's already done.
It's already finished.
Take care.
Thanks for listening.